I'll just do a little prayer first, invoking Vigneshwara that may we be able to complete the study without much obstacles and study it enough for it to become our source of inspiration and guidance. Those listening on YouTube, please let me know if you can hear me because of this. I don't know if you can hear or not. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvata. Sadashivasamarampham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayyanam Sutra Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I'm presuming that you can listen on YouTube. Please let me know. Thank you. I'll chant today. We'll do a little chanting from the beginning. All of you, if you want to, can also keep chanting with your mic off. But if you wish to, you can switch on your camera so that I can see. But we'll all chant together. All of you with your mic closed. Shri Bhagavanu, sorry. Atha Tritiyoodhyayaha Karma Yogaha Arjuna Uvacha Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardana Tat Kim Karmani Khore Mam Niyojayasi Keshava Vyamishrenev Vakyena Buddhim Mohayasiva Me Tadekam Vada Nishchitya Yena Shreyo Hamapnuyam Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Lokesmin Dvividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Nagha ज्ञानयोगेन साङ्ख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनां न कर्मणामनारम्भात् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोऽश्नुते न च सन्न्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातु तिष्ठत्य कर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिर्जैगुणैः कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य यास्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचारः स उच्यते यस्त्विन्द्रियाणि मनसा नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्मज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर सह यज्ञः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यत्वम् एष वो स्विष्टकामधुक् देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वः परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यथ इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवाः दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः तैर्दत्तानप्रदायैभ्यः यो भुङ्क्ते स्तेन एव सः यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापाः ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात् अन्नात् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्नसम्भवः यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्यः यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्माक्षरसमुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम् एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्तयति हयः अघायुरिन्द्रियारामः मोघं पार्थ स जीवति यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थः नाकृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः तस्मादसक्तसततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. So welcome back everyone. Chapter 3 is entitled Karma Yoga, as we all know. I will not go too much into the background since you have all revised, and I am presuming that you are recollecting what has gone so far. But just in a general way, we know that the first two verses are Arjuna's question as to if you think that Jnana Yoga is the direct means for moksha, and I am a desirer of Shreyas, my well being. If even not moksha, then something that takes me closer to my own Swarupam, then I wish to follow that path. So he had asked for the advice, kindly tell me what is the right thing to do in chapter 2. And he has the impression that Bhagwan has said Jnana Yoga being the direct means, yet Karma Yoga is advised for you. So Arjun needs more clarity of thought, more factors, more knowledge. Why does Krishna think that Karma Yoga is the right path for him, right way in which he can conduct his life so that Shreyas still comes to him? So that question was verse 1 and 2, and in the third verse, Bhagwan said, and that's an important verse in a way. Many people miss out on highlighting this verse, or it gets sidelined because it is this verse which sets off the primary vision of the Vedas. For anyone to decide what is the right path for them to follow, this is a fundamental siddhant of the Vedas. The siddhant is Vedas, according to their vision, according to their guideline for human being who wish to attain their shreyas, their higher nature, their higher self. There are only two options. There is one option whereby you take your path of activity, remaining active, identified with your jiva bhav, identified with your organs of action, कर्म करने में प्रवृत्त हो, natural है. For whom this is natural, and they have very little desire to be bothered or to know about anything other than what should I do, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, मैं क्या करूं. Their jignasa centers around those questions. What is my way? What is it that I should follow? What is it that I wish to, if I want this, what should I do? Even if they seek guidance, it will be around what should I do, do. question will be around that. They need clarity. Confusion is there. Seeking is right. Asking is right. Everything is correct. But the nature of question allows the knower of the knowledge, सम्यक ज्ञान जिसके पास है, that question reveals to that सम्यक ज्ञानी where is your path ordained by the Vedas, not by the person, not by the Purush whom you are seeking guidance. That person who has the knowledge consolidated of the Vedas, consolidated and is a Jnani, that person understands आपके प्रश्न का तात्पर्य, आपके प्रश्न का भाव बता रहा है कि आपका अधिकारित्व वेदों के हिसाब से according to Vedas is in the path of pravritti. And path of pravritti means बहुत सारी बातें जुड़ जाती हैं in saying path of pravritti. Remaining active is a very easy way to say in English. Remain active. Be active. That's your advice. Be active. Morning to evening, remain in action. Keep doing action. That's your first step. Having said that, karma, Vedas understand, is also the seed of bondage. वही बांधता है आपको फल से, वही बांधता है आपको संसार गति से, and that is not shreyas. So Vedas will not want us to follow a path which is not beneficial for us in the long run, also in the short, immediate fruit, in the immediate gain. So for Vedas, the advice will be, while you remain active, प्रवृत्ति मार्ग में करते हुए बढ़ते रहो, करते रहो, कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, करते रहो, लगे रहो, कुछ ना कुछ करते रहो. That कुछ ना कुछ करते रहो is your first सिद्धांत. Then starts following the teaching. कुछ ना कुछ का क्या मतलब है? स्वधर्म में रहते हुए अपने according to Vedas, आश्रम वर्ण के हिसाब से, according to the Vedas, whatever is ordained by them, remain active doing that. अपने स्वधर्म में रहते हुए कुछ ना कुछ करते रहो. That's the first part. Then, is that enough? No. वो कुछ ना कुछ जो कर रहे हो, उसमें अपने भाव में बदलाव ले आओ. If you want shreyas, start changing your attitude. Start looking at things, the way you do your action, differently. What is that difference? That is the third chapter. कर्म योग is the difference. अपने कर्मों को आप कर्म योग दृष्टि से करो, कर्म योग से करो, जुड़ के करो. योग is here, युक्त होके करो. किससे युक्त होके करो? ईश्वर से युक्त होके अपना कर्म करो. Now when you do that, ईश्वर से जुड़ के कर्म करना, that कर्म योग will take you to Shreyas. That Shreyas means what? Is it direct moksha? No. Direct मोक्ष के लिए वो दूसरा अधिकारी है, दूसरा है जिसने प्रश्न ये नहीं पूछा ज्ञानी से जाके कि मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. Should I do a job or should I not do a job? Should I marry or not marry? They didn't ask all that question. Not concerned. वो अपना मन में पहले से either in some other पूर्व जन्म or within this lifetime सृष्टि को समझ चुका है, अपनी बुद्धि में करेक्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ सृष्टि as is and the role of Ishwar as Vedas have projected. He has kind of figured on his own understanding, विवेक शक्ति से. वैराग्यम आ गया है लोगों के अनुभव देख के, लोगों के एक्सपीरियंसेस देख के. has figured out on their own कि कर्म फल प्राप्ति में कल्याण नहीं है, श्रेयस नहीं है, उसकी बुद्धि, विवेक शक्ति इस बात को ग्रहण कर चुकी है, that person has on their own come to the conclusion that phala, result, any accomplishment of this world in this world is not adequate enough. When you talk in English, when you talk in Hindi, and when you talk in Sanskrit, all three will communicate things with slight different flavors. भाषा पे बहुत ज़्यादा निर्भर है, क्लैरिटी कितनी है, क्या पकड़ में आ रहा है. The same sentence said in English now. What did I just say? I just said that whoever is concluded on their own understanding that whatever I accomplish in this world is not adequate enough. It's not enough. It's not fulfilling. They have understood that. But they have now a jignasa. They want to know. They go and ask a question which is different, which is not what should I do. They go and ask the question like Nachiketas asked, like Vivekananda asked. They go and ask the question, is there a God? What happens on death? Shvetaketu asked. They ask questions that are not action pertained. They are not related to action. These people are, according to Vedas, ready for ज्ञान योग. उनको कहा है ज्ञान योग से जुड़ के आपका श्रेयस होगा. अब आप ज्ञान योग से जुड़ जाओ, क्योंकि वैसे भी दिस पर्सन हैज नो इंटरेस्ट इन ज्ञान कर्म फल. इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, वैराग्य है. टेक्निकल वर्ड वैराग्य है. लौकिक वर्ड इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. उसको इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. Whether you make me an MD, you make me a chairman, you make me a manager, this job, that job, इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. Is fine, but इंटरेस्ट नहीं होना is entirely different. Lot of people don't have interest to work at all. Majority people in the world are not interested in work. To which he said later in the verse, which we'll come to, fourth verse, he says that interest नहीं होके जब कर्म मार्ग छोड़ोगे तो you will not get कल्याण. आपका श्रेयस नहीं होगा. You will have nothing. You will in fact fall. You will go into adhogati. You will slip away even further from acquiring a human body, regaining a human body. You will slip away from that also. Therefore, the two specific orientation, I'll use many words, whichever clicks and drives home the point is good. Whatever drives home the point for you. There are these two orientations in mindsets. There are two perceptions in mindsets. There are two different kinds of thinking that goes on in different minds. These two broad categories are defined in the Vedas. And according to them, they have said इन लोगों को ज्ञान योग करना चाहिए, लेना चाहिए, और इन लोगों को कर्म योग में रहना चाहिए, कर्म योग करते रहना चाहिए. Then the question comes, कर्म योग करके श्रेयस तक कैसे होगा, मोक्ष कैसे होगा? Because ज्ञान योग से मोक्ष है. क्या कर्म योग से मोक्ष हो जाएगा? नहीं, डायरेक्टली तो नहीं होगा. It is not ज्ञान योग और कर्म योग. Do any one of them. It is not of that nature. कर्म योग करके वो जो जीव भाव में जो हम, as I say often, we human beings are as animalistic as any animal is. We operate on our impulses. We are as bound by our own impulsive behavior. To free ourselves from that behavior, to free ourselves from those impulses, that they don't determine what I should do, to free that is Karam Yoga, which technical word is Chitta Shuddhi. If they say Chitta Shuddhi, freeing oneself is an ambiguous term. Somebody says, I enjoy the sense pleasures and I feel free. Somebody says, I travel a lot and I feel free. Somebody says, we can all have our definitions of freedom. That freedom, that free, feeling free, चित्त शुद्धि जिसे कहते हैं, शास्त्र defines it further. कर्म योग से there is a maturity of your mind. वो जो impulsiveness चिपका है हमारे साथ, अहंकार चिपका है हमारे साथ, राग द्वेष चिपका हुआ है हमारे साथ. चिपका मतलब what? We are that. We operate on that. We don't see any other thing in our minds. We are only those behavior oriented. That kind of a behavior comes out from us. So that kind of responses is the right word. Responses come out of us, loosening them. We lose our rag dvesh. We loosen them, not lose them. छूट नहीं जाता, loosen, ढीला हो जाता. Means now they become non-firm. They become shithil, as the Upanishad word indicates. They don't have that much force upon us. They are still there, कमजोर पड़ जाते, अभी भी हैं, but now क्योंकि वो इतने भावी नहीं हैं, they don't impel us into action. Arjuna is going to ask that question soon. They don't push us on their own. That means I am now beginning to get real freedom. This is the definition of freedom that Shastra tells us. So these two marks are for entirely two different mindsets. सोचते अलग हैं. How did they come? Through Karam Yoga, that inner freedom that they start getting very gradually. That Chitta Shuddhi means Shama Dama Adi Shataka Sampan. Your maturity has Shama, Dama, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, Viveka, Vairagya, Mumukshutvam. You find yourself free to entertain some qualities, some other thoughts. That quality that you find yourself with brings you now, shows you that perception in the interim stage, फलों में वाकई में कुछ नहीं है. So from Karam Yoga to Gyan Yoga, the interim stage that a person may go through, when you start doubting, the pre-state of a Gyani is the post-state of a Karam Yogi. The beginning stage of a Gyani, जहाँ से उसने शुरू की अपनी journey, is the end point of the Karam Yogi. So they merge that way. Karam Yoga आपको वहाँ तक ले आता है where you start seeing the redundancy of the pursuit of phala, karma, and what it can give you. And that makes it Gyan Yoga ka adhikari. So Krishna in the second chapter, following the Vedas, gave this. Arjuna obviously thought, Ghor karma. Why are you impelling me into this ghor karma? You are glorifying Jnana Yoga, मगर आप मुझे कर्म योग कह रहे हो. That clarity has come to us through that question of Arjuna by these following verses, where Krishna clarifies these two paths, and ultimately in the 19th verse, which we will start today, he will say, therefore, for you, karma is right. Stick to Karam Yoga. Karam Yoga karo. And then he will give reasons further. Kyo Karam Yoga karo. So in the fourth verse, he had said that shreyas you will not get by not इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, कुछ नहीं करना, लेजी है, मन नहीं है, मोटिवेशन नहीं है, एम्बिशन नहीं है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ अ tamasic thought will not get you anywhere. You will lose the opportunity of a human birth. So by by following that method, you will not get siddhin. By preordaining yourself means you have not got the fruit of karma yoga yet. आपके अंतकरण में अभी चित्त शुद्धि है नहीं, मगर आप अट्रैक्टेड हो फ्रॉम दैट स्टेट ऑफ ज्ञानी and you want to follow that state. Prematurely give up what you are supposed to free yourself from, and you just want to ape, you want to follow because it looks attractive, because it has less to do, which is kind of a shade of tamas. Therefore, that kind of a sannyasa will also not give you any fal. So, taking to sannyas without getting the fruit of karam yoga accomplished in your antakarana, if you prematurely go to sannyas, that sannyas ashram will also not benefit you. You will not gain the benefit of karam yoga, and you will not gain the benefit of sannyas. Siddhi nahi milegi. Therefore, stay in action. And why stay in karam yoga? First, stay in action. Pehle karam to karo. That's why, like Vivekananda also said, people who have ambition, people who have desires are better. Swami Chinmayananji used to say that. He would tell his initial batch of students, the very first set, he would tell them, I believe I've heard that from our teachers, he would tell them that bring me fully desire-ridden person as a student of Vedanta. He'll be far better in taking Vedantic study than one who comes without any achievement in the world, without gaining any and no interest in the world also. वो इंसान वेदांता समझने के लिए भी उसको मुश्किल हो जाएगा. Whereas the desire-ridden person who has had ambition and is frustrated because of the ambition and just says, I can't seem to find any headway in this world. I'm trying, I'm achieving also, but that person will be more qualified. The same thing Vivekananda said in different words. They are all following the Vedas. It's not people who are saying it. Following the Vedas, the perception has come. And that perception is you have to be very careful in your choice of what is your orient. Be aware of your orientation and choose a path accordingly. Nothing is higher and nothing is lower in that sense. Your higher is determined by your orientation. So Arjun's orientation, Bhagwan has read. Bhagwan knows his gunas, he knows his characteristics, he knows. So knowing that, Bhagwan had said for you, karma is better. And now he's convincing Arjun so that Arjun can remove his delusion that has taken over him, his confusion that has taken over him, seeing his own attachment surfacing for his own dear ones. And he wants to give up prematurely without gaining the benefit of Karam Yoga. He wants to take to sannyas prematurely. So Bhagwan is now giving him reasons. And that is where Vedas become extremely invaluable, because while they are guiding, they are also educating, they are giving knowledge. And when a buddhi gets knowledge, when there is knowledge in the intellect, an intellect can function clearly when there is knowledge. So Vedas are don't not just saying do this and don't do this. Dharma does say do this and don't do this, but dharma is not exclusively a praman in itself without the knowledge that is given behind it, why you should do that and why you should not do something. So that knowledge which will be appreciable, so that your intellect doesn't waver, intellect doesn't forget, or can guide the mind, and the mind doesn't waver again from its own path. Therefore, those reasons are given from from fourth to 16th. Bhagwan gives a few reasons why Arjun should abide in Karam Yoga, and through that we get the knowledge according to our orientation. Why, if I'm oriented to action, why I should do Karam Yoga. Therefore, he said from 5th verse onwards, from 4th to 9th, approximately 4th to 9th, he's saying the Siddhant of Karam Yoga. Karam Yoga, as has been stated, why you should do it. Because without karma, even your Shari Yatra will be very difficult. You cannot even conduct a healthy lifestyle if you don't work. Simple logic. This doesn't need too much of uh, Vedic ज्ञान. It's simple. काम नहीं करोगे तो you can't even live a comfortable life. So he says, and also those who are active, वो वैसे भी बैठ नहीं सकते, कुछ ना कुछ तो करते. By your own prakriti, even if you are deeply tamasic, your own prakriti will push you into doing what your gunas are, what you are made up of, the gunas you are made up of. It will push you, impel you to pursue those actions. Yavashaha, helplessly, you will go to do karmas. Therefore, he said, before that he says, 6th verse he said, if you do not work to fulfill even your basic desires, then and you wait for things to unfold and results to come your way, and you only sit enjoying whatever you are getting without working, such people are mithyachari, who are mentally indulging in pleasures of the fulfillment of desires, happiness from what results can give, but they are vimudhatma, they are deluded. गलत सोच के लोग हैं ये, इनकी सोच गलत है. Such people are mithyachari. And then 7th verse he says, therefore, opposite of those mithyachari are those people who will keep their mind in a karam yoga, means ईश्वर से जुड़ के, ईश्वर अर्पण करके, प्रसाद बुद्धि रख के, धार्मिक कर्मों में, धार्मिक कर्म not necessarily religious कर्म, अपने धर्म को समझते हुए उन कर्मों को करते रहते हुए, those who keep their karm indriyas active but keep a control on their antakaranam, those people engaged in karam yoga, they are special, they will excel, they are vishishyate, they will excel. So constantly do your niyatam, niyatam, niyatam. This niyatam word is now going to be re-explained in the 19th verse. Niyatam kuru karma. Constantly do your karmas that you are ordained. Because from not doing, doing is better. And fundamental. Then he said that niyatam karma that you are supposed to do is also called yajna karma. In the Vedic Bhasha, those are called yajna karmas for the sake of yajna. And karmas done for the sake of yajna, niyatam karmas, they're all synonyms. Nitya karma, naimittika karma. Uh, when you keep abiding in nitya naimittika karma and do your kamya karma with nishkam bhav, those karmas will liberate you, free you from karma bandhan. Therefore, for that sake, O Kaunteya, tat artham, for the sake of karam yoga, for the sake of yajna, in the spirit of karam yoga, karam karte raho, O Kaunteya, that is mukta sangaha, samachara, constantly, that niyatam is samachara. Your acharan should continue to remain in alignment with karam yoga, karte raho, and mukta sangaha, free from sanga varjit, free from attachment to the expectations of results. Then from 10th verse to 13th verse, he said it from the standpoint of Ishvara, creator. Who is Ishvara? Brahman with Maya Upadhi is Ishvara. Once the creation is set in motion, there are certain laws that govern its continuity. As I've said, explained before also, human beings alone have the responsibility of following dharma. And dharma is the principle on which creation thrives. Creation can remain, can be there if dharma is upheld. And dharma can be upheld only by people, human beings. The Shankaracharya has also said in the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita, uphold, only human beings can uphold dharma. And when dharma is being upheld by people, creation, entire creation, and this creation doesn't just involve earth, it involves the entire time, kalpa, the entire Brahmaji's lifespan, the creator's lifespan, as many cycles that it has to go through, just as our personal life, our own lifespan will have so many sunrises and sunsets to see, prarabdha vashena. When our prarabdha is over, resolves from this body, you will leave the body and move on according to whatever you have gained. In the same way, the creation will have certain cycles. Once that cycle is over, creation will wind up. But it's not necessary that it will only wind up at that time. It's almost like saying you have a prarabdha of a certain sunsets and sunrises to see, but if you live a very unhealthy lifestyle, you can very well uh, prematurely get some early, cut it short, that's right. You can cut your lifespan short. In the same way, in a macrocosmic way, totality way, if dharma is not upheld, less and less people follow dharma, more chaos, more destruction will be there in creation, and the creation can fall off sooner. Therefore, for the sake of not just the earth, but the entire creation, which includes also those that are invisible to us in the present time, Devan Bhavayata. All these principles, governors of all these natural principles, you, which are showing the health of creation. If our rains come on time, creation is healthy. If we don't get unusual hailstorms and rains, that means creation is healthy. But if we get unusual rains or drought or winters, summers, exceeding temperatures, all these are showing that creation is imbalanced. Why? because those principles are not healthy. Let's put it this way. They are called devas. Those devtas which are controlling these principles, these forces, you serve them and they serve you back. So Bhagwan has said up to the 10th verse, he took the from 10th to 13th verse, he took the example of the creator, Prajapati, from his standpoint. He says, for the sake of that, at least do your duties, dharam karo apne. Then from 13th verse, 14th verse to 16th verse, the same creation he's showing in that cycle. The chakram, सृष्टि चक्रम कैसे healthy रहता है. And then he said, these dharmas have to be followed. Karmas have to be done by human beings. But 17th and the 18th verse, he said, the second path, there are people who are qualified, matured into that Gyan Yoga on the pursuit of becoming Jnananisht. Those people, their lakshan is, they have vairagyam from karma phal. Therefore, they are santushtaha, atmani eva santushtaha, atmatriptaha, atmaratihi, yasmat. Because they are of that nature, na karyam vidyate. They don't have any, they are not bound by rules of sustaining creation, because वो खुद कर्म फल को नहीं भोगना चाह रहे. अगर आप कर्म फल को नहीं भोगना चाह रहे तो अब आपको कर्म करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है. Therefore, those are the second set of people who have nothing. Naiva tasya krityena arthaha. There is nothing left for them. They don't have to do anything for anything. Why? Na akritena iha kashtana. There is nothing here for them to accomplish. ऐसा कुछ है ही नहीं यहाँ पे जो उनको चाहिए. So from all these beings, there is nothing on which they have ashray. Sarva bhuteshu kaschit na vyapashraya. That kashchidartha, not even a little expectation from anyone do they have. Let's put it this way in simple language. They have no expectations from no one because they want nothing. Therefore, they are freed. So up to this point, actually, once again, Krishna has answered Arjuna's doubt. Why Arjun should do Karma Yoga and he is not yet ready for Jnana Yoga. Sannyas ke liye he is not yet ready. And that is what he's connecting here very beautifully. Is it so behind? So I'm trying to get the 18th verse, last Sambandha line. Should have kept it ready. I thought I had. Because he has no prayojan. This is Madhusudana Saraswati. He gives we did this correct. The stages where saw Gyan, Gyani and his stages. That Bhashyam we saw in the last class. Uh, we'll take it up separately once again if needed. But that was only to show, to give the clarity that nobody should believe falsely that I am a Gyani, therefore I have nothing to do. Those stages very clearly Madhusudan Saraswati puts in those previous verse, Bhashyam. But ending it, connecting to the 19th verse, Yasma, because Natvam evam bhutaha. Krishna is telling Arjuna, Natvam evam, you are not in this manner. 17th, 18th verse, and the Bhashyam that we saw, Gyani ke Lakshan Sare, different stages of a Gyani. You are not in this manner, O Arjuna. Bhutaha, Gyani. You are not a Gyani. Kintu, but karma adhikrita. Your adhikar is in karma. And you are a mumukshu. So being a mumukshu, desirer of Shreyas, having your adhikar in karma, therefore, O Arjun, tasmat asaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara niyatam karma niyatam kuru karma. Ninth verse, mukta sanga samachara. And now in 19th verse, tasmat. Actually, it is a conclusion of up to 18th verse, 4th to 18th, but it is also a nigamana, means it is also once again starting another reason process from 19th verse onwards. He's once again bringing different viewpoints, more Laukik viewpoints, more immediately relatable viewpoints, showing Arjun why his duty is in karma. And if he wants Shreyas, karma yoga. His duty is in doing his karma as ordained by his station in life. If he wants Shreyas, the same duty he should do, same karma he should do as karma yoga. Therefore, tasmat, therefore, asaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara. Therefore, you should constantly be doing your karyam karma satatam. Satatam. Bhashyakar says sarvada, always. Madhusudana Saraswati says natu kadachit karyam. Natu kadachit. Not that you will do it sometimes. That's sarvada. Madhusudana Saraswati gives sometimes in-depth explanation of what Bhashyakara just puts it in one word. There are reasons why it must have been, but he puts it in one word which is explainable by itself. But if we need a little help, sarvada means always. It's explainable, it's complete. But to re-emphasize, always means what? It should not be sometimes. मैं कभी करूं कदाचित कार्य. No. Na kadachit. Not sometimes. But avashya kartavya. What is avashya? Avashya means always. Avashya is uh, definitely, definitely. अवश्य करना है. Do it अवश्य, not कदाचित. अवश्य करो. अपने कर्तव्यों को अवश्य करना है. अवश्य समझ के करना है. Definitely do your कर्तव्य. Like Madhusudana ji here now brings in the Vedic injunctions. Yavat jivade shruti chodatam. As long as you live, follow Shruti. And what Shruti say? Tametam vedanu vachnena brahmana vividishanti yagyena danena tapasa anashakena. In this sentence, iti shrutya jnane viniyuktam karma. Nitya naimitika lakshanam samyak achara yatha shastram nirvartaya. So, yavat jivam shruti chodita. Whatever is being ordained to you, that actions, when you do, as Shruti says, yajna, dana, tapasa, etc., विनियुक्त ज्ञान को प्राप्त करने के लिए प्रयत्न करते हुए अपने कर्मों को कर रहे हो नित्य नैमित्तिक लक्षण वाले. Means, while you are aspiring for your jnana nishtha, you are doing your karmas which are characterized by Shruti, mandated, which example is like yajna, danena, tapas, yajna, dana, tapas. Those who are desirer vividishanti of Brahman, they live a life like that. Samyak acharam. So, tasmat satatam karyam karma. Samachara. What is samachara? Bhashyakara says, Ishwararthan. कर्मयोगी है ये. समाचरण मीन्स ये जो श्रुति ने कर्म कहे हैं, आपके नित्य नैमित्तिक कर्म है, इसको ईश्वरार्थ, ईश्वर को अर्पित करते हुए, ईश्वर को प्राप्त करने के लिए, ईश्वर से जुड़ने के लिए, ईश्वर के लिए, हाँ, मैंडेटरी इज द राइट, ईश्वर से जुड़ने के लिए ईश्वरार्थ कर्म कुर्वन, करते रहो. समाचरण, समाचरण means continuously doing, not once a while, not when I remember, not when I have done for 5 days, I was inspired and then I forgot. No, constantly. And I'm going to make again, I see it as a big statement. According to Vedas, your entire lifespan is one opportunity. So that constant means what? Not sometimes and not sometimes else. As long as that remains your duty to do, constantly strive for that duty. Keep doing that, but do it Ishwarartha. Tasmat. Asaktaha. Remain asaktaha. What is asaktaha? Sangavarjitaha. Apne expectations for the fruits from anyone और anywhere, ईश्वर को छोड़ के किसी और से अपेक्षा रखो मत. अपने कर्म करते रहो और ईश्वर से छोड़ दो ईश्वर पे. लेट इट कम फ्रॉम ईश्वर. वही फलदाता है, उसी को फलदाता कहते हैं. वैसे लेट इट बी received. Come, let your expectation, if any, come from them. If any, if you want to have no expectation, and Bhagwan will shower you with all the results, because he can shower you results because you are abiding in the duties. For what sake? ईश्वरार्थम, ईश्वर की सृष्टि के लिए। उसने सृष्टि का आरंभ की है, आप अपने कर्मों को कर रहे हो, which will uphold the सृष्टि। आप अपना रोल निभा रहे हो, you are doing what you are supposed to do. So in those days, if varna ashram is there, if you're a brahmin, you're supposed to teach. If you're a kshatriya, you're supposed to protect, you're supposed to rule, you're supposed to be fair. If you're a vaishya, you're supposed to work, you're supposed to earn, you're supposed to distribute your wealth in the society. You're not supposed to hoard more than what your family or your extended family or your community, you can have that much, but you're also supposed to keep sharing it. Let the other ashramas benefit from your earnings, but your attention should be on doing what your gunas are. But Ishwarartham, all of them, all the Varna ashramas will grow, including the fourth, by just not doing anything also, and just doing what his karma has come to him. जो उसे कह रहा है वो कर रहा है, लेकिन वो ईश्वर अर्थ समझ के कर रहा है. Even a menial task worker will benefit a lot, will grow the same way that a Brahmin will if he has to teach. That was then. Now, since there is no defined ashramas like that, if you are confused, then your role, if you're a doctor, do your role as a doctor. If you're a lawyer, etc., etc. If you're a mother, if you're a sister, if you, whatever identifiable role you have, perform. If you're a grandparent, you have roles, etc. As long as your antakaranam is the deciding factor. Are you a jignasu for Brahman? Are you a Brahma jignasu? If not directly, you are inspired, but अंदर से कोई प्रश्न नहीं बनता, जिज्ञासा नहीं आती. Stick to karma, whatever is ordained. Always stick to karma and always Ishwarartham. Asaktaha, remaining asaktaha. And that samyak achara, samachara. That samyak achara, Madhusudan says, यथा शास्त्रम निवर्तय. जैसे शास्त्र कहता है करते रहो. At that stage of your life, whatever you think shastra says is your duty, keep doing that duty. Means abide in your duties. Simple. Asaktaha hi yasmat acharan. Same. ईश्वरार्थम कर्म कुर्वन. ये ऐसे ईश्वरार्थ कर्म करते रहने से, कुर्वन, the participle there is saying करते रहने से, कुर्वन, करते रहो सततम. What will you get? The verse says असक्तः ही आचरण कर्म. असक्त होके जो भी कर्म करता है, असक्त होके जो कर्म करता है, उसका क्या? परम आपनोति. पुरुषः. It is actually purushah. But for those who, there's certain rule in Anushtuk meter where the last pada, this Paramapnoti Purushah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth verse, sixth letter should be a Dirgha. So Purushah has been made for Chandas, for chanting, Anushtuk meter. The meter has come lengthened. Ooh, it's become. But it is Purushah. That Purushaha will get Param, will get Param. Param is Moksham Apnoti. But direct moksha? No. Sattva Shuddhi, through Antakarana Shuddhi, Jnana Prapti Dvarena. You will come to Jnana Marg, then Jnana Nishtha, then you will get Param, Moksham Apnoti. Who is that Purushaha? While Bhashyakar doesn't write much on it. He just says that Purushaha is Sattva Shuddhi Dvarena. Madhusudan says that Purusha is Sat Purusha, na Anya, not anyone else. So if you want Parama, that Param is Sat Purush. And who is Sat Purush? Who is able to abide in Sat. Sat is Nishtha. Who abides in Sat. That Sat, the one who abides in. The one who has his Nishtha in Brahman. That one who has Nishtha in Brahman. He is the one who will get it. Is the verse clear? Crystal clear? Needs a little money. I'll just repeat few lines so that consolidates the bhashyams, the two bhashyams. You have to go together and you get a beautiful connection coming forward. Now, from 19th verse onwards, a thought flow has started. While Tasmat Sadatam Karyam Karma Samachara connects to concluding the 4th to 18th verse, it is also the Pratigya. Therefore, always remain doing your Yatha Shastram Vihitam Nitya Naimittika Lakshanam Karma, and in present context, according to your roles, Ishwararthanam Asaktaha, remain doing that. Hetu is what? Why should you remain doing that? Because that he is Yasmat here, Bhashyakar has said, because is telling us it's a Hetu, because the one who remains Asaktaha and continues doing what he's supposed to do, such a person gets Parama. Apnoti means Prapnoti. He gets Parama Moksha, and that Moksha he gets through Sattva Shuddhi, Chitta Shuddhi, Jnana Dvara, Jnana, Jnanena Dvara. He gets through Jnana, he gets Moksha. So, this is the whole sequential path, rasta, direction to human life. And it's fascinating because the more one abides in Karam Yoga, one has an opportunity. The first thing, okay, let me complete the sentence. The more one abides in Karam Yoga, more inner freedom, leisure, relaxation, those qualities, that mananashil man. What is a mananashil man? Raga dvesh जिसका छूट गया है, राग द्वेष में अब वो पकड़ा नहीं है मन, अहंकार में जकड़ा नहीं है मन, जिसका राग द्वेष और अहंकार बेसिक्स वी आर टॉकिंग, जिसका बेसिक ये सब छूट गया है, वो मन मननशील हो जाता है. मननशील मीन्स अपने आप से मनन करने लगता है. मनन मीन्स रिफ्लेक्शन, कॉन्टेम्पलेशन, विचार. वो विचार में लगता है. Such a person, through Jnanapad, gains Atma Nishtha, gains Atma Jnana, Atma Nishtha, and that Atma Nishtha then results in moksha. That's what you want, freedom from this cycle of birth and death. Creation is not just one Brahmaji's lifespan. अगर एक ब्रह्मा जी का लाइफ स्पैन है तो देर आर लिमिटेड ईयर्स एंड लिमिटेड साइकिल्स. I will probably be born limited number of times, and then what? When this Brahmaji goes, then cycle goes, this whole creation has laya, binds up, हो गया फिर मुक्ति. I remember as one of kid, I had asked this question. अगर ब्रह्मा जी का खत्म हो गया तो मुक्ति हो जाएगी, तो फिर why should I work hard? Why should I do all this? Let's just go through. Let's just go through and आएंगे जाएंगे ब्रह्मा जी जब खत्म कर देंगे सृष्टि, हम सब खत्म हो जाएंगे, खत्म होगी ना बात. No, it will not end there. You will stay in a dormant stage, just as a seed remains in a dormant state. Along with your karma phal, you remain in a dormant state. And when Brahmaji creates another srishti, pops out, matures a jiva again. उस सृष्टि में, whether you will be a human being or you will have robotic life, which life will be, Brahmaji will decide according to karma phala what is the environment that this karma phal, this jiva's, this karma phal has to mature into. Therefore, what do you learn? Last sentence and we continue. Therefore, and work towards moksha means how? Asaktaha, okay, Ishwar Artha, which is equal to Karam Yoga. Karam Yoga karte raho, and you will automatically find yourself maturing, just as you find the human body automatically maturing. आप नहीं प्रयत्न करते कि आपका बाल्य अवस्था से यौवन अवस्था में मैं कुछ करूं कि मेरा शरीर अब बड़ा हो. We don't do it. It's natural, ingrained. प्रकृति के स्वभाव में है that a child will grow up to old age, means natural. Body will age, apakshiya, vinashyati. In the same way, antakaran, when you put it in the right direction, towards shreyas, if you set your life in that direction, antakaran ko aap udhar direct kar do, then you won't have to do anything. Automatically it will push you. It will just take you to the next and the next. You won't have to do anything doesn't mean nothing, but your growth will be an effect. In that manner, you won't have to do anything. You have a lot to do. I hope the two do's are clear. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue. I'll just end the class. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukha bhag bhavet. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam. Nyayena margena mahim mahisha. Gobrahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Kale varshatu parjanyaha. Prithvi sasya shalini. Deshoyam kshoparahitaha. Brahmana santu nirbhayaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavad everyone. Dhanyavad. Thank you.